The idea of annexing territories has been a recurring theme in global politics, often sparking debates about sovereignty, economic interests, and geopolitical strategies. One such instance that captured international attention was former U.S. President Donald Trump's proposal to purchase Greenland from Denmark. This seemingly outlandish suggestion raised eyebrows worldwide, prompting discussions on its feasibility, implications, and motivations. In this extensive article, we will delve into the intricacies of Trump's proposition, examining the historical context, political ramifications, economic considerations, environmental concerns, and public reactions surrounding this ambitious plan. Underscore 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 Chapter 1. The Genesis of the Idea, Trump's Vision for Greenland. Background on Donald Trump's foreign policy approach. Donald Trump's presidency, 2017 to 2021, was characterized by an unconventional foreign policy style that prioritized transactional diplomacy over traditional alliances. His approach often involved viewing international relations through the lens of business deals, where nations were treated as entities with assets to be bought or sold. This mindset set the stage for his controversial proposal regarding Greenland. Greenland, an autonomous territory of Denmark, is strategically located between North America and Europe. It holds significant geopolitical importance due to its vast natural resources, including rare earth minerals, oil, and gas reserves, as well as its proximity to the Arctic region, a rapidly emerging area of interest due to climate change and melting ice caps. Trump's public statement on purchasing Greenland in August 2019. During a press conference at his golf resort in New Jersey, Trump casually mentioned the possibility of purchasing Greenland. He described it as a large real estate deal that could benefit both the United States and Denmark economically. While he framed the proposal as mutually advantageous, many interpreted it as an audacious attempt to expand American influence in the Arctic. Trump later clarified that he saw Greenland as a strategic asset, particularly given its potential role in military operations and resource extraction. However, his comments were met with skepticism and amusement, with critics labeling them as uninformed and disrespectful to Danish sovereignty. Underscore 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 Chapter 2. Historical context. Greenland's relationship with Denmark. Greenland's autonomy within the Kingdom of Denmark. Greenland has been part of the Kingdom of Denmark since the early 18th century, though its relationship with Copenhagen has evolved significantly over time. In 1953, Greenland became an integral part of the Danish realm under the Danish constitution. Then, in 1979, it gained home rule, allowing it to govern itself in most domestic matters while remaining tied to Denmark for defense, foreign affairs, and monetary policy. Further devolution of powers occurred in 2009 when Greenland achieved self-rule, granting it greater control over its natural resources and internal governance. Despite these advancements, Greenland remains heavily reliant on financial subsidies from Denmark, which account for approximately two-thirds of its annual budget. Previous attempts at territorial expansion in the Arctic throughout history, various countries have sought to expand their influence in the Arctic region. During the Cold War, both the United States and the Soviet Union established military bases in the area to monitor each other's activities. More recently, Russia has increased its presence in the Arctic, investing in infrastructure and asserting its claims over contested waters. The U.S., too, has long recognized the strategic value of the Arctic. For example, the Thule Air Base in northern Greenland serves as a critical component of America's missile defense system. Thus, Trump's proposal can be seen as an extension of long-standing efforts to secure American interests in this vital region. Underscore 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 Chapter 3. Political ramifications. Reactions from key stakeholders. Denmark's response to Trump's proposal. Denmark swiftly rejected Trump's offer, emphasizing that Greenland is not for sale. Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen described the suggestion as absurd, noting that Greenland is an integral part of the Danish kingdom. Her reaction underscored Denmark's commitment to maintaining its sovereignty over the territory while respecting Greenland's autonomy. However, some analysts speculated whether Denmark might entertain negotiations if offered substantial compensation. Given the financial burden of supporting Greenland, there was speculation about whether economic incentives could sway Danish policymakers. Nevertheless, official statements remained firm, leaving little room for compromise. Greenlandic perspectives. Within Greenland itself, opinions were divided. Some residents viewed Trump's proposal as an opportunity to gain greater independence from Denmark, potentially leading to full statehood. Others dismissed it as disrespectful and dismissive of their cultural identity and self-determination. Greenland's then Prime Minister, Kim Kielsen, echoed Denmark's stance, stating that Greenland is neither for sale nor a colony to be traded. He highlighted the importance of preserving Greenland's unique status within the Danish realm while pursuing sustainable development. International reactions. Trump's announcement sparked widespread criticism from world leaders and commentators. Many accused him of neocolonial thinking, likening his proposal to outdated imperial practices. European Union officials expressed concern about the precedent such a move might set, fearing similar attempts to renegotiate borders elsewhere. Conversely, some observers argued that Trump's idea reflected growing recognition of the Arctic's strategic significance. As climate change opens up new shipping routes and access to previously inaccessible resources, competition among nations for control of the region is intensifying. Chapter 4. Economic considerations. Assessing the value of Greenland natural resources and their potential. Greenland boasts an abundance of untapped natural resources, making it an attractive target for investment. Its subterranean wealth includes deposits of rare earth elements, uranium, zinc, lead, and gold. Additionally, offshore drilling prospects suggest the presence of significant oil and gas reserves. Exploiting these resources could yield enormous profits, but it also poses challenges. Harsh weather conditions, remote locations, and environmental regulations make extraction costly and complex. Moreover, any large-scale industrial activity would require careful planning to minimize ecological damage. Tourism and infrastructure development. Beyond resource extraction, Greenland offers opportunities for growth in tourism and infrastructure development. Its stunning landscapes, including glaciers, fjords, and wildlife, attract adventurers and nature enthusiasts from around the globe. Expanding tourist facilities and improving transportation networks could stimulate local economies. However, balancing economic growth with environmental preservation remains a delicate task. Overdevelopment risks harming fragile ecosystems, undermining the very attractions that draw visitors to the region. Financial feasibility of acquisition. Estimating the cost of acquiring Greenland presents numerous difficulties. Factors such as land valuation, infrastructure investments, and ongoing operational expenses must all be considered. Furthermore, determining how much Denmark would demand in exchange complicates matters further. Even if a price tag could be agreed upon, financing such a massive acquisition would strain federal budgets. Questions arise concerning whether taxpayers would support allocating funds toward purchasing foreign territory rather than addressing pressing domestic issues. Chapter 5: Environmental Concerns. Balancing progress with preservation. Climate change and its impact on Greenland. Climate change poses existential threats to Greenland's environment. Rising temperatures accelerate glacier melt, contributing to rising sea levels globally. Melting ice also exposes previously inaccessible areas, increasing accessibility to natural resources, but exacerbating habitat destruction. Efforts to mitigate climate change require international cooperation and commitment. Any plans involving resource exploitation in Greenland must prioritize sustainability to avoid irreversible harm to its ecosystems. Indigenous rights and cultural heritage. Greenland's indigenous population, primarily Inuit, possesses deep connections to the land and its traditions. Ensuring their voices are heard in decision-making processes is crucial to safeguarding their way of life. Development projects must respect indigenous rights and incorporate traditional knowledge into planning frameworks. Failure to do so risks alienating local communities and eroding cultural heritage. Successful integration of modernization and conservation requires collaboration and mutual respect between stakeholders. Chapter 6: Geopolitical Implications. The broader strategic landscape. Competition among Arctic nations. As the Arctic becomes increasingly accessible, rivalries among Arctic nations intensify. Russia, China, Canada, Norway, and others vie for influence in the region, driven by economic, military, and strategic interests. An American acquisition of Greenland could alter the balance of power, prompting countermeasures from competing states. For instance, Russia might respond by strengthening its naval presence or accelerating infrastructure projects along its northern coastline. Similarly, China, already active in Arctic research and trade initiatives, might seek alternative partnerships to counterbalance U.S. dominance. NATO and transatlantic relations. Greenland's inclusion in NATO, through its association with Denmark, adds another layer of complexity to the situation. Any changes to Greenland's status could impact collective security arrangements, necessitating revisions to alliance protocols. Strengthening ties between Greenland and the U.S. might enhance regional stability but could also strain relationships with other NATO members. Evaluating Trump's proposal. In retrospect, Donald Trump's proposal to purchase Greenland generated intense debate and scrutiny, highlighting the intricate interplay of politics, economics, and geopolitics in contemporary international relations. While ultimately unsuccessful, his suggestion illuminated the growing importance of the Arctic region and the challenges associated with managing its transformation. Looking ahead, future administrations may reconsider similar proposals, especially if technological advancements reduce barriers to resource extraction and environmental protection. Ultimately, any moves involving Greenland must balance competing priorities, respecting sovereignty, fostering economic prosperity, protecting the environment, and ensuring equitable benefits for all stakeholders involved. This exhaustive exploration underscores the multifaceted nature of Trump's Greenland initiative, offering valuable insights into the complexities of modern diplomacy and the evolving dynamics of global power structures. The concept of the United States acquiring Greenland has been a topic of debate and intrigue for decades. This vast Arctic territory, currently an autonomous constituent country within the Kingdom of Denmark, holds significant strategic, economic, and environmental importance. In recent years, discussions about its potential acquisition by the U.S. have resurfaced, sparking intense debates among policymakers, scholars, and the public. This article delves into the main arguments for and against the U.S. acquiring Greenland, exploring the geopolitical, economic, environmental, and cultural dimensions of this complex issue. The historical context. Greenland's relationship with Denmark dates back to the early 18th century when it became a Danish colony. In 1953, Greenland was granted status as a part of the Danish realm, and in 1979, it achieved home rule, further solidifying its autonomy. The idea of the U.S. acquiring Greenland is not new. In fact, the U.S. made an official offer to purchase the territory from Denmark in 1946, valuing it at $100 million in gold. Although the offer was rejected, the interest in Greenland's strategic location and resources has persisted. Geopolitical considerations. Arguments for acquisition. Strategic military position. Greenland's geographical location offers unparalleled strategic advantages. Situated between North America and Europe, it serves as a crucial point for monitoring and controlling access to the Arctic Ocean. With increasing tensions in the Arctic region due to climate change and resource exploration, securing Greenland could enhance U.S. military capabilities and provide a base for surveillance and defense operations. Arctic influence. As polar ice caps melt, the Arctic is becoming increasingly accessible, revealing untapped natural resources and new shipping routes. Acquiring Greenland would position the U.S. as a dominant player in Arctic geopolitics, allowing it to influence international policies and agreements regarding the region. Countering rival powers. The presence of other global powers, particularly China and Russia, in the Arctic raises concerns about security and sovereignty. By acquiring Greenland, the U.S. could counterbalance these influences, ensuring that its interests are protected and promoting stability in the region. Arguments against acquisition. International relations. Purchasing or annexing Greenland could strain relations with Denmark and other NATO allies. Such a move might be perceived as aggressive or imperialistic, undermining diplomatic efforts and cooperation within international organizations. Complex legal frameworks. The legal implications of acquiring Greenland are complex. It involves navigating treaties, agreements, and international laws governing territorial acquisitions. Missteps in this area could lead to prolonged disputes and legal challenges. Potential for conflict. Increased U.S. presence in Greenland might provoke rival nations, escalating tensions, and potentially leading to conflicts. The delicate balance of power in the Arctic requires careful consideration to avoid destabilizing the region. Economic implications. Arguments for acquisition. Access to natural resources. Greenland is rich in minerals, including rare earth elements, oil, and gas. These resources are vital for modern industries and technologies, offering substantial economic benefits to the U.S. economy. Infrastructure development. Investing in Greenland's infrastructure could create jobs and stimulate economic growth. Improved transportation networks, energy systems, and communication technologies would enhance connectivity and productivity. Tourism potential. Greenland's unique landscapes and wildlife attract tourists from around the world. Developing sustainable tourism initiatives could generate revenue and promote cultural exchange. Arguments against acquisition. High costs. Acquiring and developing Greenland would require significant financial investments. Building infrastructure, maintaining military bases, and supporting local communities could strain the U.S. budget. Environmental risks. Exploiting Greenland's natural resources poses environmental risks, including habitat destruction, pollution, and climate change impacts. Balancing economic gains with ecological preservation is challenging and requires long-term commitment. Dependence on imports. Greenland relies heavily on imports for essential goods and services. Ensuring a stable supply chain and addressing logistical challenges would be critical to sustaining its economy. Environmental concerns. Arguments for acquisition. Climate research. Greenland's ice sheet provides valuable data for understanding global climate patterns. By acquiring the territory, the U.S. could expand its research capabilities, contributing to scientific knowledge and policy-making. Conservation efforts. The U.S. could implement robust conservation programs to protect Greenland's fragile ecosystems, preserving biodiversity and promoting sustainable development. Renewable energy opportunities. Harnessing Greenland's renewable energy sources, such as wind and hydropower, aligns with global efforts to reduce carbon emissions and combat climate change. Arguments against acquisition. Ecological disruption. Large-scale development projects, whether for resource extraction or infrastructure, could disrupt local ecosystems and threaten indigenous species. Climate change. Vulnerability. Greenland is highly vulnerable to the effects of climate change, including rising sea levels and melting glaciers. Managing these challenges requires coordinated international efforts rather than unilateral actions. Cultural heritage preservation. Respecting and preserving Greenland's cultural heritage is essential. Any acquisition must prioritize the rights and traditions of its indigenous population, ensuring their voices are heard and respected. Cultural and social dimensions. Arguments for acquisition. Cultural exchange. Integrating Greenland into the U.S. could foster cultural exchange and mutual understanding between the two nations. Sharing knowledge, traditions, and values enriches both societies. Improved quality of life. Access to U.S. resources and services could improve living standards for Greenlanders, providing better healthcare, education, and employment opportunities. Political representation. Granting Greenland representation in U.S. political institutions could empower its residents, giving them a say in decisions affecting their future. Arguments against acquisition. Loss of autonomy. Greenland's current autonomous status allows it to govern itself while benefiting from its association with Denmark. Acquiring Greenland might erode this autonomy, diminishing its ability to self-determine its path. Cultural identity. Preserving Greenland's distinct cultural identity is crucial. Integration into the U.S. could lead to cultural assimilation, threatening traditional practices and languages. Indigenous rights. Ensuring the rights and well-being of Greenland's indigenous populations must remain a priority. Any acquisition should involve meaningful consultation and collaboration with local communities. The question of whether the U.S. should acquire Greenland is multifaceted, encompassing geopolitical, economic, environmental, and cultural considerations. While there are compelling arguments for and against such an acquisition, any decision must be made thoughtfully, respecting international law, prioritizing sustainability, and valuing human rights. Engaging in open dialogue with all stakeholders, including the people of Greenland, is essential to reaching a solution that benefits everyone involved. As the Arctic continues to evolve, finding balanced approaches to address shared challenges will be key to fostering peace, prosperity, and cooperation in this vital region.